From the preliminary task, we had to learn and correct any errors we made for our main task. These errors consisted of continuity, where the book on the desk was the wrong way around for one of the shots. Also, the sound was not smooth. There were loud bangs and interruptions throughout. This we learnt from and corrected for our main task.
We learned that using low-level music or sound effects to mask natural sound or fill empty sound was the best way to improve our film. The music or sound effects could create a certain mood or atmosphere that would enhance our film opening. Our preliminary task contained the bare minimum of editing, which gave it a bland, simplistic look. Therefore, we had to improve the quality of editing for our film opening.
Adele and myself learnt how to use key points, change colour, brightness, contrast. We used transitions and keyframe movements. We used effects and learnt how to adjust size and positioning. We did not analyse any similar genre media texts for our preliminary task, and therefore did not know any of the codes and conventions of the genre we chose to present, which was a police drama. In our main task, we were able to study other similar texts and learn from the codes and conventions. This helped us improve our film opening as we knew what we needed to include. For example, we needed to use a female role with a connection to the main character to give the main character a personal motive for doing the crime.
For our preliminary task, we were given a set of instructions which we had to abide by in order to complete a task. This did not give us a great deal of creative freedom. We were not able to create a long and engaging storyline which took place in different locations. There was no need for fancy editing such as transitions or non-diegetic sound such as music, whereas in our film opening we were in need of specific editing to enhance the smoothness of the film appearance and to reflect atmosphere. For example, we used fast-paced editing to reflect the fast-paced sequence or action taking place within the scene. Also, we were able to use non-diegetic sounds such as music to reflect and create atmosphere, such as the scene where Michael finds the wedding ring. The slow mellow music reflects his feeling and creates sympathy for the character.
We were restricted to using only 2 characters within our prelim task, as this was the specific criteria given, whereas in our film opening we were able to use multiple characters and even voiceovers, which enabled us to establish the narrative and give a more engaging storyline. Multiple characters allowed us to include a coded convention of secrecy. If there was only 2 characters, there would be no secrecy. However, the use of 3 characters allows them to be secretive to each other about one another.
For example, Michael's ex-wife is sleeping behind his back with his best friend, and Danny, obviously Michael's best friend, is pretending to be friends with Michael. We also restricted to 1 location in our preliminary task. This did not help with establishing narrative, only established a basic narrative. In our film opening, we were able to use a multi-shot scene to show multiple actions at once. For example, when Michael is on the phone to Danny, it's also showing the affair between Danny and Michael's ex-wife. However, in our preliminary task, we cannot do this because of the restrictions that we had to abide by. Also, in our preliminary task, we could only use 1 setting. This restricted us to only establish a narrative, and we were unable to represent our characters through setting, whereas in our film opening, we were able to represent all of our characters in depth because of the settings we placed them in. An example would be the start of our film opening. We placed our main character Michael in the setting of him walking away from prison. Therefore, through the use of this setting, it could uncertainly suggest and represent him as a criminal.